Good morning, students. Let us discuss the next part of the lesson, Emerging Political Trends 1977 to 2000. So in the previous classes, we have discussed different issues between 1977 to 2000. So in this class, so let us discuss remaining issues. So the era of coalition politics. Already you know that coalition means, so if any party unable to form the government, so with the help of other parties, okay, collectively they can form the government. That is the meaning of coalition government or coalition politics. So that was happened in 1977. So on the leadership of Morarji Desai. Later, the government was formed by Congress only. After independence, most of the times, the Congress unanimously formed the governments, okay, except in 1977. Later, in the year 1989, again the coalition government was formed. So it became near impossible for any single party to win a majority of seats and form a government of its own. Okay, why? Because all the national parties became weak and regional parties became strong in different states. Okay, more regional parties were formed. Example, DMK, Anna DMK, Sivasena, TDP, okay, like that different regional parties became strong in different states. That's why I think in near future, so the single party unable to form the government. So since 1989, the governments that had formed at the national level have been either coalition or minority government. Coalition or minority governments. Minority means there is no more support, more seats. So a number of national and regional parties had come together to form government at the center. So this is the meaning of coalition governments. Okay. So because of this, no party could pursue its extreme agendas and had to turn down their approaches. Why? Because they should work with other parties. So while this enabled that central governments to become more sensitive to multiple viewpoints in politics and policy matters, it also caused considerable instability. So the coalition government should listen the demands of the other parties. If they don't consider the demands of the other parties, they will withdraw their support. Then government will be collapse. Even small parties tried to gain undue advantage, as with withdrawal of their support could cause the fall of the government. It was happened at the time of Vajpayee government. So Jayalalitha withdrawn her support. So then the government was fall. Okay. Sometimes this also caused policy paralysis, as the coalition could not implement any policy which called for serious change for fear of withdrawal of support by one or the other parties. So while the early coalition governments were highly unstable and did not last their full terms, so even in 1977, within 2 years, the government was fell, and in 1989 also, within 2 years, in 1990, the VP Singh government fell because of withdrawal of support by BJP. Okay, like that. So they never lost their full terms, 5 years. The later coalition have put in place multiple mechanisms like common minimum programs and coordination committees to bring about greater understanding between the parties. So, because of these activities, so later coalitions like the BJP lead National Democratic Alliance. National Democratic Alliance means NDA. So now NDA government is in power. Already you know that. So and the Congress lead United Progressive Alliance UPA have completed their terms. So the Vajpayee completed 5 years term in a coalition government. Moreover, the UPA was the first coalition to be re-elected. So, the left front government in West Bengal. So, we can discuss about left front government in West Bengal. So, that was also the coalition government. So, here left means communist parties. Left parties means communist parties. Those are Communist Party of India, Forward Bloc, Revolutionary Socialist Party, Communist Party of India, Marxist CPM. So those were won in the elections in the state of West Bengal in 1977 and formed the left front government led by Jyoti Basu from CPM. So together CPI, Forward Bloc, Revolutionary Socialist Party and CPM together formed the government and the Jyoti Basu was the chief minister in 1977. Okay, so this government led by Jyoti Basu, one of its most important programs was to carry out the unfinished tasks of land reforms in the state. So they introduced land reforms. So they promised at the time of elections about the land reforms. Later also they did the land reforms in the state. In June 1978, the West Bengal government launched Operation Barga to record the names of the sharecroppers. So what sharecroppers means? So the peasants who are not having lands take the lands from the landlords and they will pay some share from the crop. So those are called sharecroppers. They don't pay rent or lease, but they will pay the share of the crop. So bargadars who tilled the land belonging to landlords and paid a large share of the produce as rent to them. Those are called sharecroppers. So in 1978, the West Bengal government launched Operation Barga to record the names of the sharecroppers. So because of that, though the sharecroppers got some rights on the lands. Okay, so in that Barga, so the share of landlords reduced. Okay, so some rights given to the sharecroppers. So as a result, Operation Barga. So to implement that, the West Bengal government formed some committees in the local level. They involved the local people to distribute the lands to the people also. As a result of Operation Barga, the landlords were largely prevented from forcibly throwing the bargadars off the land. In fact, the bargadar rights were made hereditary and thus perpetual. Secondly, the state guaranteed that the bargadars would receive a fair share of the crop. Previously, they had shared more crop to the landlords. Now that was reduced. Okay, 75% of the bargadar provided the non-labor inputs and 50% if the landlord provides those inputs. In all, approximately half of rural households in West Bengal have received land reform benefits. So, even though the land reforms are not properly implemented in West Bengal also. So, only 70%. As a result of these measures, agricultural production in West Bengal had increased almost by 30% and rural poverty declined significantly. However, many critics felt that the majority of shareholders of West Bengal, about 70%, bargadars, have still not been registered in the records. Okay, next. Nevertheless, Operation Barga and the implementation of Panchayat Raj helped the left front to gain substantial support from the rural population, and the government repeatedly won elections till 2006. From 1977 to 2006, the only left parties formed the government, means 29 years. Okay, they formed the government. In those term, the Jyoti Basu was the chief minister, so he made the record. Okay, so this is one of the ways in which the needs of people of the state was addressed through democratic means. So here, coalition governments and some political parties from 1980s. So in 1989, 1990, so Janata Dal formed the government with the help of another political parties. So in that, JD, Janata Dal, is the major party. DMK, AGP, TDP, Jammu and Kashmir, National Conference, JKNK in Kashmir. Okay, so supporting parties. What is the meaning of supporting parties? They don't involve in the government. They don't take any ministries in the government, but they give the support from outside. So supporting parties are CPM, CPI, BJP in the year 89-90. So United Front 1996 to 98. So JKNK, NC, TDP, TMC, CPI, AGP, DMK, NGP, Samajwad Party. So these are they formed the coalition government. Supporters are CPM. I think the BJP is the major party at that time. Next, in 98, 2004 also, there was a coalition government by BJP. The TDP was the supporting party. Okay, next. So in the 20th century, so many changes came. So at the time, because of WTO force, we introduced liberalized the economy, and new social groups asserted themselves politically, and religious nationalism and communal politics mobilization became important features of our political life. So extension of constitutional privileges. So in the year 1990, so after Janata Dal formed the government, they tried to introduce the reservations to OBC, other backward castes, in government employment and educational facilities. So the VP Singh government announced that it was implementing the core recommendations of the commission by reserving 27% of the seats in government employment for candidates from the socially and educationally backward caste that were identified by the commission. So this is called Mandal Commission report. Mandal Commission report. So this sparked numerous protests, especially in North India. In South India, almost there was a reservation for OBCs. So most of the other political parties were not in favor of VP Singh government's decision, but those were not unable to express their oppo- opposition to this because of fears. Okay, next. In this previously, because of some changes in the politics, so the OBC caste had become rich and start, started to assert themselves. They had especially benefited from land reforms and green revolution, but found that they did not have adequate representation in education, government service, and even in politics. So now the VP Singh government tried to introduce reservations to them. Okay, next. Use of religion and politics. The politics tendency that seeks to build our nation based on nationalism is led by Bharatiya Janata Party. So Bharatiya Janata Party was against the reservation to minority people in our country. So the BJP opposes the idea of a religious priesthood run theocratic state. The BJP has opened the debate on the nature of secularism by asserting that a secular state does not give special treatment to minorities, but common civil code is to be applicable to all. So previously the Congress government given more importance to minorities, especially Muslims. They have given 12% reservation to Muslim community. So that was opposed by BJP. Next, this tendency was largely on the margins of Indian politics till the 1980s. For the example, in the 1984 Lok Sabha elections, the BJP won only 2 seats. However, BJP made great strides when it took up the Ayodhya issue. So they started Radhayatra under the leadership of L.K. Advani in 1990 from Somnath to Ayodhya in support of these demands. So after the elections, they won more seats in 1992. So during the campaign, the BJP tried to argue that the secular politics was trying to ignore the interest of the Hindu majority while trying appeals to the minority communities, especially the Muslims. So the campaign was accompanied by intense communal polarization, causing a large number of communal conflicts, and finally ended with the arrest of L.K. Advani in Bihar. Okay, the BJP responded to this arrest by withdrawing support to VP Singh government and forcing early elections in 1990. Okay, so coalition government was ended. So during the elections campaign, Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated by LTTE. Already we discussed in the previous class. So Rajiv Gandhi sent army forces to Sri Lanka to suppress the militants in Sri Lanka. So that action was not supported by even Tamil people and Sri Lankan government also. Okay, so a Tamil separatist group of Sri Lanka as retaliation for his role in sending Indian army to Sri Lanka. So in this sympathy wave, the Congress won and came back to power in the center. But this time, BJP strength had gone up to 120 in the Lok Sabha in 1992. In 90, they are having only 2 seats. After the Radhayatra, they got more support from the public and they won 120 seats. Okay, next, economic liberalization. So after the VP Singh government in 1991 the VP Singh government fell. So at the time India was facing very serious economic crisis. So the foreign reserves only sufficient to repay loans and paid for imports, and at the time India was sold 40 tons of gold in a world market, okay, to get amounts. So this meant that India would have to default in payments to foreign countries unless it urgently got some loan. In 1992, when the new Congress government under P.V. Narasimha Rao was formed, so previously P.V. Narasimha Rao worked as a minister, revenue minister in Congress governments. In 1992, he became the Prime Minister of India. So he negotiated with the International Monetary Fund for loans to tide over the crisis. So the IMF, International Monetary Fund, laid down certain stringent conditions to give the loan. So forcing India to accept a policy of liberalization. So at the time, WTO introduced liberalization in the world. So many countries were signed, but India was not signed on that agreement. But in 1992, India was forced to accept that policy. So they imposed some conditions to give the loans. Those are drastic reduction of government expenditure, including cuts in subsidies to farmers, expenditure on public services, health. Second one, reducing restrictions and taxes on import of foreign goods. Reducing restrictions on foreign investment in India. Opening of many sectors of the economy like telephone, banking, airline to private investors, like that. So to give the loan, so they restricted to accept these four conditions. So because of this we accepted the liberalization. So these measures brought in foreign goods and forced Indian business to compete while global manufacturers. It also led to the setting up of industries and business by foreign companies in India. However, it also meant a lot of hardship for the common people as the government was forced to cut subsidies to the people, and as many factories closed down due to influx of cheap foreign goods. So our local factories unable to compete with the foreign goods. So because of that, so many Indian factories were closed. This is also lead to privatization of many public amenities like education, health and transport, and people had to pay high prices to private service providers. So like that, so many changes came in India between 1977 to 2000. Clear? With this lesson is completed. So write your own points. Thank you.